From the next row, it starts the row with the white stitches because I'm working chart 2. It will not cause any problems here. Just need to follow the chart and keep knitting the body length. When I reach the needed length, I want to start working the rib. Don't forget to change needles to the smaller size while doing the first row of the rib. Here I start with the first row that will be 1 knit, 1 purl stitches. I repeat it next 3 cm according to my pattern. Before I do binding off, I want to knit 3 rows that will be slightly different. I do it the next way. I move 1 knit stitch to the right needle, then make a purl stitch. Again, move a knit stitch to the right needle and make a purl stitch. Keep knitting this way the whole row. The next row is almost the opposite. I make a knit stitch, but purl stitch I just move to the right needle, holding the thread in front. Then 1 knit stitch and move the purl thread to the right needle. Repeating this way, I do the whole row. The third row of this hollow rib is the same as the first one. I move the knit stitch and make a purl stitch. Now I'm ready to bind this edge off, and here I need a plastic needle. I do 1 knit stitch as I want to have purl stitch to be the first. Then I cut off the thread, leaving approximately 2 lengths of the sleeve end. Here 4 steps I want you to remember. Step 1. I insert the needle into the purl stitch and return it to the front. Step 2. I pick up the left leg of the previous knit stitch and the leg of the next knit stitch. Step 3. I insert the needle into the same purl stitch again, but this time back to front. Step 4. I release 2 stitches, both purl and knit, and tighten it just a little bit. Don't tighten it too much, otherwise the rib will be not stretchy enough. I hope you remember these 4 steps, but I show you once more. Step 1. Insert the needle into the purl stitch. Step 2. needle goes through the left leg of the previous knit stitch and the next knit stitch. Step 3. The purl stitch again, back to front. And step 4. Release both stitches and tighten it a bit. Here you can see how the edge of the rib looks like. I want to connect the last stitch with the beginning of the row. Insert the needle into the first stitch, make a knot on the wrong side and hide it. The biggest part of the sweater is ready. Now it's time to work the sleeves. First I move them to the needles. You can use either circular needles or double-pointed needles, it doesn't matter. As you remember, I had 8 stitches as an armpit gusset. I want to lift them up starting from the very center, so it will be 4 stitches. I do it just picking up the front leg of the stitch. I pick up the first 4 stitches and then approximately the fourth part of the stitches of the sleeve. Here I want to distribute all stitches on 4 needles. I also pick up the 4 stitches from the armpit gusset on the last needle. Now I join the thread and start from the middle of the gusset. However, if I had just one side of the stitch picked up, I want to use both sides of the stitch. While I'm knitting these 4 stitches, one by one, I release them to get both sides, or legs if you call them legs. And already having 2 sides, I do a knit stitch. All 4 stitches I do this way. Then you see I have a quite big gap in between. I want to get rid of it. Here I pick up the stitch right from the middle and move to the right needle together with the next stitch. I pull this double stitch over the next one to get only one left. Do a knit stitch and tighten it up. All next stitches are just knitting stitches. Here I get to the point with the gap. I need to release the previous stitch and pick up the stitch from the middle of the gap. I move both of them to the left needle and pull double stitch over the previous one. Do a knit stitch. The rest 4 stitches of the gusset I need to work the same way as I did in the beginning. I release them one by one in order to use both legs of the stitch instead of one. This way it looks much better. Then I start chart 2. In the document you can find how many times and how often I need to do decreases. For my size, 6 times every 6 row. Every row I do 2 decreases, in the beginning and in the end. Let me show you both. The only thing to remember here working chart 2, I never use white stitch in the beginning and the very end of the row. It always will be the red one, regardless what it says in the pattern. Now I work first 5 knitting rows. Here I'm by the row 6, where I do first decreases. The row starts from the 1 knit stitch. Then I want to do a decrease, or knit 2 stitches together to get 1. I do it always towards the beginning of the row. Here I insert the needle left to right through the front loops and knit them together. After that I knit the whole row while there are only 3 stitches left. Here I have last 3 stitches. I want to knit 2 stitches together with the left inclination. To make it more convenient, I turn both stitches another way and knit them together through the back loops. 1 knit stitch left and I finish the first round with decreases. Next 5 rows are without changes, and then 6th row I do decreases again, so every 6th row 6 times all together. I also mark the finish of each row, as otherwise I can easily forget where I am now. Can do it simply using a piece of paper and a pencil. After all decreases, I check the length of the sleeve. It's supposed to be about 15 centimeters. I have less and therefore need some extra rows. After all decreases, I check the length of the sleeve. It's supposed to be about 15 centimeters. I have less and therefore need some extra rows. If you do the second sleeve, compare both of them, so they're the same length. As soon as I reach the length, I start with the rib. Here I change my needles to the size 3 mm. If you do the first sleeve, count how many rows you actually do to reach the needed length, because often it is difficult to count when the rib is already finished and you do the second sleeve. Next steps are work the rib and then bind it off the same way as I did with the bottom of the body. When the sleeve is ready, do another sleeve. The whole sweater is ready, I just need to weave the ends and block it. Here's the final result. I hope you like the sweater and now we are ready to the Christmas time. It was a pleasure for me to design this pattern and explain how to knit it. Of course, it has some tricky points and for some of you it could be a bit challenging, but with these small challenges you improve your knitting and you know actually how to knit this or that part of the sweater. At least I try to show some details. Leave the comment below, send like or subscribe to the channel, so I will see your support and your interest in such videos. Thanks for now.